Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. We are looking at potentially one of the new best units in the game right now in Super EZA TEQ Beerus. He is indeed rainbowed, not quite level 10 links. I did try and get him there ASAP, even with one link short, and I just couldn't manage it. His potential system isn't very good. This is what it used to be from years ago, and I don't have any dupes or copies to change it. So we're just going to have to firm that L and move on. We are running him on in LR Broly's 200% lead. He could also go on Carnival LR Broly's 200% lead as well. However, this Broly has more support units like TUR'S and Kid Buu. So I've decided to run this instead. The only downside running Beerus on this team, I say only, I think there's two. There's two. One of them isn't that deep. One of them isn't that bad. But there's two. One of them is Link's. However, I think he'll be fine. But we do miss out on Godly Power, which is a big link, and we do miss out on kind of the rest, aside from like maybe a couple more, depending on who's on the rotation. And then the other thing is, if you are running dual in LR Broly's, and this still could be the same, could be said if you are on Carnival LR Broly's team. We're already starting off with 9.8, by the way. Already. And he's building up by being hit. But on this team, there's two in LR Broly's, which means we're using the domain, which will affect Beerus, of course, with him being a super class unit filled with a team with extreme class units. I don't think it will hurt him too badly. I don't think it'll be too much of a detriment, but it is something to take into consideration. Whereas on Carnival LR Broly's 200% lead, you only have the one to worry about rather than potentially using two. But after EZAing, Beerus is starting the turn with key +3, attack and defense +160. He then gains an additional attack and defense +160. And there's a 50% chance to crit on super, just like that, which is very nice. Which is why I'm a little bit disappointed with the hidden potential build. But as I said, it was from years ago. What can you do? He'll then gain an additional defense +160 and guards all attacks when there is another movie boss, Realm of Gods, or Exploding Rage category ally attacking in the same turn. Which the entire team is from movie bosses, aside from Kid Buu. So we're always going to have that guard active. So one of his best places to be run is actually on a movie boss or primarily movie boss team. You could also put him on Tech UI Goku's Realm of Gods 170 lead, and I think he'll work just as well. And he can take advantage of the domain on top of that. Also, he will then gain an additional attack and defense +40% of each attack received up to 160, which I'm pretty sure we've probably built up by now of how many attacks are in slot 1. He then will reduce damage received by 30% when HP is 30% or more, which is majority of the time, so you're always going to have that coupled with guard, by the way. Then gain an additional damage reduction of 30% when HP is 60% or more, which, considering how tanky this team can be, a lot of the time you will have 60% damage reduction and guard with Beerus, which is honestly ridiculous. Like, it makes him ridiculously good. Like how beefed up he is, especially as well because with Super EZA's SA effects aren't touched, and he doesn't have any SA buffs whatsoever. So the fact he has so much damage reduction and guard beefs him out a bit, considering he has no SA effects. So I do kind of like that. What is he up to? What was he on? 862k attacks. That's 659k defense. That's 659k defense while having guard and 60% damage reduction. Let's not forget as well, in LR Broly does have healing. 13.7 mil. While having guard, built-in crit, an additional, and all of that damage reduction. He also has a 70% chance of launching an additional super when HP is 60% or less, which will be the majority of the time, which means even more damage. No SA buff, yes, but more damage. Superclass allies will gain key +2 and attack +30%. So he will support on, say, Tech UI Goku's Realm of Gods lead, and extreme class allies key +2 and defense +30%, which on a team like this, which already has so much support, you're talking combined support with TUR'S, with Kid Buu, etc, etc, and the domain being active. And of course, Beerus does have rage conditions, which he will go into rage mode when HP is 60% or less, which you can actually do up to twice, which is quite handy just to get off some free damage, I guess. But literally, I was so excited to use this Beerus once I saw his details because of how good he looks. And he's definitely not disappointing. Like, he is very good already. I said the only downside of running him on essentially his best team, his best category, is the domain would work against him. The domain would happen against him. I know we haven't got it active yet because of the category allies and those kind of things. But if we did, and we did get it popped, even on Carnival or Broly's 200% lead for movie bosses, if we did even use it once rather than the twice on this team, once it's used for 3 turns, Beerus, he's going to be in a bit of a detriment. He is going to be debuffed. He is going to be taking more damage. Although, as I said, I think he would be fine. As I said, with all of that damage reduction and guard he has, I think he would be more than capable with, you know, with the domain being active. I don't think it would be an issue. But it's just something to think about. You know, it's something that is working against him, but I don't think it'll be too bad. We have actually got the rage mode off. And during rage mode, Beerus has key +1, attack +4, 100%, and he gains an additional attack +50% per keys for obtained. And he'll launch an additional attack that has a 70% chance of becoming a super attack. He does have guaranteed stun on one of his super attacks, but you know, you're only going to be able to utilize that in so many places. On the other one, he does greatly raise attack temporarily, and then the first one, he has no SA buff whatsoever. But you know, I mean, as long as he's doing good damage, I mean, you can essentially chip away at the enemy for free. You know, I'm not really a big fan of rage modes and giant forms because, you know, you do barely any damage, but it's chip damage for free. I mean, he's still doing 9.3, which isn't too bad with an additional. That's not bad. You're looking at a 9 million attack stat, which the next one will probably be like 10. 13! 13 million attack stat for free. Yeah, as long as you're getting his full key and you're getting him a super attack off. 13 million attack stat for free. Doing that kind of damage. With an additional. Without being hurt. Without taking any damage at all. That's decent. That's probably one of the best rage modes in the entire game. Actually, that is probably the best rage mode in the entire game. Damn. I'm not gonna lie, his rage mode's actually really good. It's really useful. You're actually doing good damage for free. You're basically having a ghost usher while dealing good damage. That's like one of the only rage modes I like in the entire game, and one of the only giant forms I like in the entire game. That actually does something. Now, our HP is below 60%, hence why we got the rage mode, so we are missing out on his extra damage reduction. Although, we should be fine. So I'm going to let him go in slot 1. I mean, as I said, that's the only other thing that's a bit of a downside, is we are missing out on some links. But I mean, we do have some Kid Buu support, which we can take advantage of right now. But what I'm seeing from Beerus, I like a lot. He's very good. As I said, the two main things that are against him right now, 15.1. The two things that are against him right now, I don't think are going to be that bad. As I said, the domain only debuffs him a little bit, and he'll take a little bit more damage. I've used units that have been affected by other units' domain. They do take a bit more damage, but it's not that bad, so he should be fine. As I said, it's just something to take into consideration when team building. Maybe have one in LR Broly by running Carnival LR Broly if you have him, rather than 2. And the other thing is links, but I mean, from the damage he's doing and how much damage reduction he has and guard, I don't think it really matters that he doesn't link too well with the units on this team. Like, the units he links well with are other Beerus units and Whis and Champa. You're never going to be running those units on this team unless we get like a brand new LR Whis or brand new Beerus at some point, which somehow has a different name, or a brand new Beerus and Whis, for these guys to actually link together. But from what I've seen from him, he is very, very good. He's definitely one of the best TURs in the game right now. Definitely. Hands down. He also goes on one of the best category teams in the whole game right now as well. That's also a big help for him. The only thing is, my potential system is a bit doo-doo, but I don't really want to spend the stones to change it, so we're kind of stuck with 20 crit until I put some skill orbs onto him. But regardless, definitely the best Super EZA in the game and one of the best TURs in the game. He is very, very good. He is an absolute monster. You can let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care, have a great day, and peace.